ran really well because the players just, I mean, I ran good one of the days down at Orange City. The day I ran good, I made $2,400. The day I ran not so good, but okay, I made like $600. And then I come back the next week. I purposely came back from Jacksonville to go back down there because I'm thinking, boy, if I can win there consistently, I'm going to try to pick up some money. And every day's been a losing day. It's been very frustrating. I mean, I'll make some money. I'll lose $800, come back then later on the day and make 800. But I just seem to not catch any hands and just not do well at all. And it's still the same awful players. And the same crap today. I was not catching anything, not doing well. Just card dead as a mother. And so I'm down to like only about $200. And this guy, some guys that just raise all the time. Well, this guy decides to raise with 7-4, 3 deuce with like three clubs in his hand. He makes it 35, and I don't know why people do this, because are they thinking people fold? Because nobody folds in these games. So he makes it 35, and of course everybody calls. I wasn't going to call. I had queen 7-6-5 with queen of clubs, 6 of clubs. Not a terrible hand, but not a hand I would normally play, especially for 35. But I'm getting like 8-1 by the time it comes around to me to call 30 more. And so I ended up calling in the small blind. Didn't plan on it, but considering the price I'm getting, the flop comes queen 7-4, and I flop the top 2 and backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. But the main thing is this queen 7-4 rainbow, and I have top 2. So I put it in my whole stack, which is close to pot, and I get 2 callers. Turn comes an 8. The initial pre-flop raiser bets. The guy jams on him, and I'm thinking, okay, he probably hit the straight. He had to hit the straight with 8 coming on the turn. 4-7-8. He probably has 5-6. And so the guy rejams over the top. He calls, so we got a huge pot now. And the initial raiser, I'm thinking, boy, he must have a straight 2 in a set. The river came a 7. Or no, sorry, the river came a 4. I wish it came a 7. The river came a 4. So the final board was queen 7-4-8-4. And the initial pre-flop raiser, like I said, had 7-4. So he called the bet on the flop. Bet 3-bet the turn when he had bottom 2 and a flush draw, a 6-high flush draw, a 5-high flush draw. So you have bottom 2. If you have any clue how to play PLO, you don't play bottom 2. Bottom 2 is a trap hand. You get yourself in trouble. And people are usually betting a dry board. They got top 2 or a set. You're in terrible shape. So most of the time, if you hit your boat, you're going to be outboated. So it's just a horrible play. Bottom 2 is against just top pair. You're in bad shape. Bottom 2 because the guy has 11 outs. So you might be slightly ahead, but I mean the board can. I mean it's just you're not in great shape, and especially against so many people. But he played the bottom 2 like it was the nuts, and he ended up boating down the river with the 7-4. And as it turned out, the guy who raised went crazy on the turn. Next act, he didn't have a straight. He had a set of 8s. So he called with a pair of 8s. He hit a set. Went crazy. Apparently neither of them saw the fucking straight, which the obvious straight came in, 5-6. And yeah, like the guy with 7-4 probably turned over a bolt, and the other guy had a higher bolt for 8s full. And how does, number 1, look how bad they play. Number 2, 4 on the river. I mean, he's got bottom 2. By the way, the flush draw that came in on the turn, which was clubs, I had queen high clubs. So if the club is to come in, I had the higher clubs. If a 7 comes in, I have the higher bolt. If a queen comes in, I have a higher bolt. So the only way he can beat me is an offsuit 4. It's the only way. And he hit it. And the other guy, the only way he wins and beats me is if he hits his 2-outer for an 8. They both hit one guy hit the 2-outer, the other guy hit the 3-outer. I couldn't make this shit up. What am I missing here? why am I losing? And it just makes me question how legit this card room is, because you can actually, those shufflers you can set up to however you want. You can definitely set up those shufflers how you want. And if you wanted to, you could have a guy that hadn't been there in years, comes in, you make it so that he runs really good. He's like, boy, this place is great. Oh yes, I'm coming back all the time. So now you got him hooked. And then so once he comes back in and you find out, hey, by the way, when you win and you cash in the chips, they count the chips and they want your player's card. So if you have a good win, they put your name down. And I'm sorry, but you can set up those shufflers to say, okay, this guy's winning too much. We want the bad players to start winning more, because the good players will always come back. The bad players will leave. We don't want them to leave. We want them to come back. So we're going to even out the field a little bit so that everyone comes back. Don't tell me that's not fucking possible. It is possible. I know it's possible. No one says they're doing it, but I question it. I wonder. You ever go online and just notice when you haven't played in a long time, you just run like God, and then all of a sudden you're losing it all? Same thing. They're suckering you in, and then you run like a happy horse shit, because we're going to give the other new players a good chance to win. There's no way of proving that, but I've done enough research to know it is possible to set up those shufflers like that. And they track you, and they know who you are, and if you have a good win, they'll put your name in the system. I mean, ever since I booked a big win, could not win to save my life. I win one or two hands here and there, but card dead for the most part. And then when you get it in way ahead, you lose. It's ridiculous losses. Like, I know this stuff happens in poker. I've been playing for 20 years, but some places more than others, you just really scratch your head and wonder, is this fucking legit?